Caracas, Venezuela. So what's that? My friend O'Neill used to spend his childhood vacation eating tequeños in Margarita with his family. So did I. On 2012, my friend O'Neill graduated from high school with honors and was about to start college. So did I. On 2014, I was accepted at the Miami-Dade College, and I got my visa, and I was the happiest person in the world. On 2014, my friend O'Neill was killed. He was shot in the head on his way home. It's no secret that my country is a broken country. Thanks to hashtag Pray for Venezuela and hashtag SOS, the entire world knows about our crisis and our bad story. What most people don't know is that we have really nice beaches and very good music on Christmas. Now this is because of what the African writer Chimamanda Adichie calls the danger of a single story. A single story from any place or any person creates stereotypes. And the problem with stereotypes is not that they are untrue, but that they are incomplete. They make one story become the only story. Now I have another story. This is about a girl called Joanna Hausmann. And many of you might know her because of her videos and her out-of-this-world comedy talents and her creative skills as a theater actress. But what you might not know about her is that her family was forced to move out of Venezuela by the government. That her brother, Michel Hausmann, was a prestigious theater director, whose theater play was attacked in the middle of a performance by the police following orders of Hugo Chavez. And that because of the repression and the crisis in Venezuela, she hasn't been able to go back home. So yes, Joanna Hausmann knows about the horror in Venezuela, and she could make many videos about that horror. But she also knows that we have a very good sense of humor and weird Spanish sayings that do not translate to English, and that we have the most original tamal in Latin America called hallacas. She knows that there is more than the horror. She knows that there is more to us than that. That we are more than just a sad single story. And throughout her career, she had to explain and educate people, not only about Venezuela, but Latin America in general, about us, and she has to fight against stereotypes. So yes, my friend O'Neill was killed, but every time I watch a video from Joanna Rants, I am reminded of how much he loved to eat tequeños, and all the other things about him and about who he was. So I personally want to thank you, Joanna, for that. And thank you for your presence and here with us today. Now, I am not an expert on being an internet person or an influencer or a video creator, so there is this crazy talented Venezuelan comedian here with us too, who has just a few hundred thousands of followers in every social media, and he is here to help me to present Joanna Hausmann today. So he's Christian Melendez, and please welcome him.
Hello. Joanna Hausmann is a full-time video creator, writer, and producer for Univision's bilingual digital platform called Flama, which I'm a big fan of. Her viral creations have gathered over 20 million views and have been featured in places like Cosmopolitan Magazine, The Huffington Post, BuzzFeed, Latina Magazine, and Chaten TV, among others. She is also the host of her very own vlog series titled Joanna Rants that have collectively reached over 8 million views. So please welcome Joanna Hausmann.
I love that there's a soundtrack to my presence on stage. Is that Katy Perry?
I don't think so.
No?
That's Ariana Grande.
Oh, really? I'm not into it anymore. Just hold it. Hello? Oh, yeah. I feel so powerful.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you guys for coming here. I'm so honored to be here and to be in Miami because I feel like so many of my videos are seen by people here. And every time I arrive, I'm like, oh, these are where the views are coming from. Because when I walk down the street in New York, no one seems to know what I do. So, excuse me.
So, Christian and I have a few questions that we want to ask you, and then we'll open to the public and the audience, so you guys can ask any kind of questions that you want. My first question is, how did you get involved with Flama?
Okay, so I get this question a lot, and it is a really weird story. I was just like a comedian in New York, and I had like 3 shows a night. That like if I got 15 people, I would celebrate. And then I did a stand-up show about my mom, and that video was placed online by my mother without my permission at all. I got really angry at her because I didn't want that video. I did not want that video on YouTube. Pero someone at Univision actually watched it right when Flama was becoming a thing. And he was like, Mira, I don't know what you're going to do here. Like, we don't even know what this brand is. Right now, we only have a logo. Like, literally, that's the only thing we have. But, like, do you want to come and see if we can figure this out? And I was like, yeah, sure. And it's amazing because it was ironic because I didn't really think about YouTube as a way to get a job. You know what I mean? Like, I was sending cover letters and resumes everywhere. And then suddenly the one video that my mom posted without me, like, with my permission is what actually got me in the door. Which I think is sort of a metaphor, I guess, to what happened later, which is I saw the internet as a platform to get to a more diverse, multicultural audience that perhaps, you know, a theater in New York can't, you know, grasp all of them, but on the internet you can. You can get to un dominicano in Washington Heights, you can get to un venezolano en Doral, you can get to un mexicano in California, like, you can't get to all those idiosyncratic identities. So yeah, so that's a long-winded answer to your question.
That's a perfect question. Who's Joanna Hausmann for those that don't know you, and how since you are Venezuelan came?
Did you say who is your husband?
Joanna.
What did you? Sorry. What?
Joanna Hausmann.
Oh, where's Joanna Hausmann?
Yeah, I mean, most of you, well, everybody knows you, but there are a few people that might not know what's the work that you do. And my second question is how, since you are a Venezuelan, came to here and to production.
Okay, so I met one person who didn't know who I was, who's here, and I want to thank her. Thank you for sitting through this. And yeah, so I'm a Venezuelan comedian who lives in New York, and I make internet videos that people watch. I'm clumsy. I tend to lose my Metro card every morning, and I love eating a lot, and I love music, and I'm really, really good at memorizing reggaeton lyrics. If I can make a career out of that.
What's your
Can you rap right now?
Probably.
Do.
Planta tus pies como 2 raíces, con ese tumbao puede que me hechice. Cuidado que no te pise, mamita con cautela, sacude la tela en el nombre de tu abuela. That's a little bit. It's just a little bit, if you guys want a private show later.
Mic drop.
What do you like doing more, stand-up or the videos on YouTube?
I do very limited stand-up, actually. I don't enjoy stand-up very much. It's like a thing I'm forced to do. I guess it's like for doctors, it's like they're forced to like treat people with colds, which I don't, you know what I mean? Like that's not their like jam. I do sketch comedy and improv in New York, and one of the things I like most about it that translates to video is how collaborative it is. So in my videos, I have Chris, who's my director, and then I have an editor called Lee. And yeah, even though I'm the face of it, like it is an incredibly collaborative effort, and that's where I think the best comedy comes out of. And so I prefer doing sketch comedy and videos videos are just way more, sketches take a lot of time to make and then 200 people watch them. Like I'm part of the UCB theater in New York and I have like 9 rehearsals a month and then of like 3 hours each and then I perform and then there's 250 people in the audience. For Flama, I probably spend probably a little bit more time on a video and then I'm able to reach a way bigger audience. Now, is one better than another? No, but one is able to get more specific in its comedy. I couldn't be able to do a video about Venezuelan birthday songs out of New York, 250 people in New York, because they'll be like, what the F is this? And, but online, yes. But I think they're very related, because they're all very collaborative.
So going back to the question of since you are Venezuelan, how did that came to production?
Online I saw a lot of things about, and like friends of mine, like Mexican comedians doing stuff about Mexico, and then Dominicanos as well, and Puertorriqueños, and I just saw that a lot of the content that was being done for Venezuelans about Venezuelans was geared for specifically Venezuelans. So it was in Spanish, it was very insider, and someone that maybe isn't from the culture wouldn't be able to follow. And I wanted to make something that I could show all my American friends, and that they would laugh as well, but okay, that they would like come out of it kind of having a better understanding of like what we are. And I think that that's something that I always keep in the back of my mind. It isn't just about making people like us laugh, but it's about making people that aren't like us laugh, and in the process having them understand us a little better.
What's the misconception about Latinos that you hate the most?
Wow.
Since you talk a lot about that.
The most? Bueno, I think that because there's some misconceptions that don't necessarily bother me, like, or stereotypes that don't bother me because they are rooted in reality. Like, that's true, my mother is the boss at my house, and I don't think that's a bad stereotype. But I think stereotypes, I don't think I can pick one, but definitely stereotypes that, and I think that how your introduction was so clear and so poignant in like exactly what bothers me about a lot of stereotypes, which is stereotypes that bring people down and that simplify to a point of negativity, which is what we see right now in this candidate race, and making the other scary. And making the Latinos scary versus like your friend,
You asked me before what was the video that got me viral, and I don't know what yours, or what you think yours was.
So I had a video that went viral that I wasn't in, and it's called like Spanish words Americans can't say, and it was insane to see it go viral on people's walls, and like you can just hear my voice, like literally no one knew it was me. But that for me was like my first inkling into the power of the internet and how underserved this demographic is, how underserved the bicultural Latino is, that something like that went so viral, and it was just such a low production quality, like it looked like, sorry, it looked like crap. But I think the first video that I protagonized was things white Latinos are sick of hearing. And it was a very simple video. I legitimately just took quotes from my real life. And I think that video sort of taught me a lot, because in comedy, I don't know if any of you guys are like comedians or wannabe comedians, like you're told to find the funniest thing and like just accentuate it to an extreme. Online, when you want to make things more accessible and relatable, which is usually the videos that go viral are stuff that is incredibly relatable to people, and you honestly have to make it feel as real as possible. So a lot of the stuff in that video, it was taken straight from life, and I just cast all my improv friends, and in a lot of the scenes, we would start with the dialogue I'd write, and then we would improvise like another 5 to 10 minutes, and then we would get a snippet. So like there I realized that my background in improv actually does help in the digital sphere. So yeah, I think Things White Latinos Are Sick of Hearing probably is the first one that went viral. It was weird.
And what's
what is this? Because I'm like, there's not a lot, like, no puede ser, como que there's so few in my head of me that would want to watch this, but there are a lot of people that aren't just white, that are from different backgrounds, that feel this sort of sense of disenfranchisement with their own identity, and they do not feel connected to what people think that they are, or vice versa. So I think it spoke to that more than anything.
Okay. And what's been your favorite video to make?
I think that's a question for these guys, but Snap, that's hard. You know, there's videos that I hate. Like the accents video, I did not want it to go live. I was like, I'm not freaking doing this. And Chris, my director, was like, sorry, we're just gonna have to put it up. We have it on the schedule and it's gonna go up on Thursday. I'm like, I'm gonna murder you. But I think that what I'd like to tell a lot of people here that are content creators or want to be content creators is the not doing something is worse than putting something out there that is at least rooted in something you feel passionate about. Even when you see it at the end and you don't feel passionate about it, there was a reason why you wanted to do it. So stay clear with that reason, and don't be afraid of just putting your stuff out there, because chances are you just see it as worse than it actually is. So for that reason, it's hard for me to say which was my favorite, because there's a lot of videos that I've done that have been my favorite for different reasons. There's videos that got very little views that I love because I love it, and then videos that got 1 million views that I'm like, I mean, that was fine, you know. But I think the creator, like when you make your own stuff, it's interesting to see how people resonate with things that you wouldn't expect.
So you are a woman?
I am, yes, accurate observation, very good. Although some YouTube commenters would like to disagree with you, but yeah, I am a woman.
And you are from Latin America, and you work both with English and Spanish, and with both cultures. Is it hard? Is it hard being a woman in this media? Is it hard being a Latina woman in this media?
I don't want to say the word hard because I don't want to, you know, not inspire other women to do the same. It is different for sure. I think I get like in every interview, like the first question is, so you're a woman, like how does, like, sorry, I know you just asked me the same thing. So you're a woman in comedy, and then like that's the question. And I'm like,
That's a fact.
What does that mean? Like, well, I mean, you're a woman. You know what I mean? Like I mean. In New York, at least, 50% of my team is female. All the comedians I go watch usually change of music. And all the comedians I watch, like 50% are women. I mean, I do live in a bubble in New York, I think, a comedian bubble, where I think we're very progressive. Because I think there's two places I see a lot of sexism. One is YouTube. It's amazing how people, like, I don't care that you think I'm pretty or not. Like, that's not my job in this earth. Like, I don't give an F. Like, literally, like, you can think I'm the ugliest person in the world. I don't care. Like, I'm a comedian. I'm not a model. Like, and I think that that's one of the hardest things about being a woman online is that, like, people think that the reason that you're there is to look good or to not look good. Like, that is the main thing that like, you're, como que tu punto de interés. Como que your physical beauty or whatever. But the moment that there's one of those comments online, like there's like this female fan army that like attacks, and like I don't have to do anything anymore. It's so amazing. They're like, you're a sexist or whatever. So there, I since I did live in this bubble in New York, I had no idea that this was a world that existed and is very prevalent. So I see it online, I see it on YouTube, and then I also see it ironically with a lot of Latin American comedians. To the point where I did a show with a Latin American comedian who shall remain nameless forever. He will never be named. And he was like, yo, real talk though, like I thought that you were like a lesbian. And I'm like, I mean, that's fine. I mean, if I was, I would embrace it and I would be very open with it. And like, why? And he's like, because you're funny. Like, what is the logical progression of that? That makes no sense. My sexuality has nothing to do with, what are you talking about, dude? And that for me was like a moment of realization of like, oh wow, this goes very deep. And this is something that like women of my generation can change right now, and we are changing it. And I think that's very old school thought. Like, that isn't something that I hear at all in the comedy world anymore. So I think that it is changing. I think that we need to continue doing our jobs as female comedians, and my male fans are like the perfect example of people that are helping. Like, that's awesome. Thank you so much for liking my content and not, like, you know, commenting on whatever or saying something about my sexuality that has nothing to do with being funny. I hate that guy. I hate him.
This is kind of a personal question. Well, for me. What do you do immediately after, like, your video's posted? Do you just sit and wait, like, for the comments to come and see the reaction, or?
I used to, and I'm like a very sensitive person. Like, I watch Home Depot commercials and cry. Like, I'm so sensitive. Like, you know my Thea, so like she can tell you, dude. Like, I cry for anything. And